What's going on, everybody? Well, I made a video the other night showcasing the Grand Seiko versus the Tudor Ranger, and it got a lot of hits. But I did make mention in that video that I hadn't really bought any watches lately, except for this one. So I couldn't remember if I'd done a video on this one yet or not, and I had not, so here I am doing one. This is my Vostok or Rostok. I think it's pronounced Komandirskie, USSR, from evidently from the 1980s. And I need your help because I don't know much about these watches. I got this one on eBay. I think I ended up spending like under 100. I think it was listed for like 25, and then the bids went up and up and up, and well, I won the bid, and here I have it. So it's quite a fascinating watch, actually. Surprisingly, it's really well made, and it's kind of cool, and I actually really enjoy wearing it. So we'll just take a look at it, talk a little bit about it. But yeah, Komandirskie, I think that means commander maybe in Russian. It's got a bi-directional bezel that does not click or anything, it just kind of glides. Feels a little cheap, but you know, it's on there pretty good. It's got I'm assuming a plexiglass crystal. You can see that big red dot right there would be the very top one. And then I think you have, what, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes of red and then 40 minutes of black to gauge yourself with. So, you know, pretty analog, but kind of cool. This is a hand wind movement. It's not an automatic. And I actually really like the crown system, and I'll show you how that works in a little while here. But as you can see, I think it's a brass case. Not 100%, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's brass. Would be the only brass watch that I have. I really like the profile. I think it's classy. I like the coin edge on the bezel. I like the shape of the case. It's actually pretty comfortable, and it's cool. It's really an interesting watch. You can see it does have lume. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here so I can show you guys if my darn camera phone will play ball. Lighting's not very great here, but you can see it's got kind of a matte finish dial, and it almost looks like those little lume plots have something kind of pressed into them or something. I can't tell, but yeah, it's got lume on all 12 numerals, and then lume on the minute and the hour hand, and the lume's actually functional. It's decent. It works. It's not great, but it does work. So better than nothing. It probably ticks away at, I'm guessing, 3 hertz, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Sorry again about the phone here. Let me back up a little, see if I can readjust. There we go. So the way this crown works, you unscrew it. It's not difficult to unscrew, and it comes out. Once it's out, it's very flimsy, and that's by design. It's supposed to be flimsy. My understanding is they want it to be flimsy so that if you unscrew it and you hit it on something, it won't break off, because it's got all this kind of play in it, which is interesting. But if you just try to wind it, it just threads back up like immediately. So the trick here is to, if you want to wind it, you actually kind of have to pull on it a little bit while you're twisting it. You might be able to hear it. I don't know if it has overwind protection on it, so I'm going to stop. But yeah, you got to pull on it a little bit while you're twisting it to get it to wind. You don't want to pull too hard or it pops it out. But then when you pop it out, it's not a hacking movement. So you can see the way that crown kind of jiggles around, but you can see the second hand is still moving. But I can go ahead and adjust the time now as needed. Now take a look at the date hand, or the date window. I'm gonna go ahead and roll past midnight. Good instant turnover there. Now, because you only have one position to set it, you can't pull it out to a date set mark. So, you know, traditionally you'd have to keep rolling all the way around until you get to the next date. Now, if it was like the 15th right now, that would suck because I'd have to go all the way around over and over. But here's a little life hack. With this watch, you just back it up. Back it up to like 9 o'clock and then go again. Boom, change the date, back it up again. And my understanding is this is how this is designed, as kind of like a quick set date feature. So leave it to the Russians. Simplistic, but actually functional. And then when you're done, you don't pop it back in, you just tighten it down and it automatically pops itself back in. And once it's on there, it's actually really nice and sturdy. It's not gonna go anywhere. Very interesting. It's got a little battle tank on it. My question for anybody who might know, when I go on eBay or Google and I look at these watches, there's a million different configurations. You know, you have the same watch that has kind of like stick indices on the bezel. You have a paratrooper up here. You have, 17 jewels down here with that thing, but it doesn't have the white around the perimeter. My question is, what the heck do I have here? Do I have like an authentic Russian Vostok, or do I have some like cheap Chinese crappy knockoff? If I flip it over, look at that. Made in Russia, stamped right on the back. We got a little seagull there, a nice little Russian sun, something that I can't read. And then another really neat feature is the way the case back goes on. It's almost like a compression fit. You have the ring that goes around it and then the piece here in the center. And the ring tightens the piece down to the body, I believe. And I actually pulled this case back off a while ago. I was gonna grab my case back tool, but my kid's asleep and I don't wanna wake her up. So maybe I'll try to do that in a different video. But you pop it off and it's just, it's an in-house movement in the back there. And while it's not anything too exciting to look at, I get the feeling it's actually like a pretty good durable movement. So, interesting company. I don't think I would want to take this one in water. Although if it broke, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I don't know how waterproof it is, but it might actually be fully submersible and capable of going in water. I don't know. Maybe it's something I should test sometime just for science. Sometimes I like to test stuff just for science to know. So, anyways, yeah, interesting little watch. Haven't really had a chance to time it yet to see how accurate it is. I suspect it's probably not super accurate, but who cares? Just a fun little piece. I think it's like maybe like a 17 millimeter lug width there. It's a pretty slim little band. And this band came with it, and I highly doubt this is like the original band. This is probably just, the one they sent it on, although it does have a copper buckle, so that's kind of cool. It could be original, who knows? This watch might be all original for all I know. It might be, a real 1980s Soviet era Russian relic, and it might just be some kind of a knockoff. So maybe if there's an expert out there who watches this video, you could tell me. But in the meantime, let me do a wrist check. I finally got the battery replaced in my Skagen, which is the watch my wife gave me 13 years ago when we got married. And I very rarely ever wear it. It's been dead for ages, probably 7 or 8 years it's been dead. But I finally got a battery and I replaced it. And I like this watch. I think it's really cool how the bezel is covered by glass and it's chrome, so it's got a nice shine to it. Really an interesting little super slim watch. So I just figured in the spirit of kind of smaller size watch bands and slightly smaller watches that I would rock that while I make this. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Let me see. I wonder if I can do a loom shot real quick. Hold on. Try this out. Oh, well, you can kind of see there. That gives you an idea. Sorry, kind of lame, but I do have light on in the background, but you can see it shining, so whatever. Anyways, everybody just have a wonderful night, all right? Thanks for watching, guys. Leave comments in the comments section. Like and subscribe if you feel so inclined. And if you know anything about these watches, let me know. Super curious. Thanks again, guys. Bye now.